Podcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everybody. My name is Erin Oldacre, and I'm a senior consultant at SWK. And we're going to be going over Paperless Office today. Let's see. Okay, so Paperless Office is a standard feature, and it's going to be in all of Sage 100 systems in the version 4.3 and above. So this is going to give you the ability to PDF and save on documents and document management throughout your system. So we're going to go over how to save Paperless Office, how it's going to save you time, how it saves you money, frustration. Okay, it's going to it delivers and bundles within the product itself. So there's no extra charge. This is free. It comes with the product. And this is how it's going to help you on a daily basis. Then we're going to go and take a look at a demo. I'll jump into Sage. We'll take a look at a demo of the Paperless Office across multiple modules. We will take a look at it within the core modules, such as accounts payable. We'll also look at it within your distribution modules. So how can Paperless Office save you time, especially when it comes to things that you do on a regular basis, such as sending out statements to your customers, sending out sales order acknowledgments, bills of lading or sales order invoices that you mail out right now. So think of all of the different things that you do on a regular, everyday basis that may come to paper handling, okay? So with Paperless Office, the savings go beyond just the paper itself. It's also the hardware, the printers and the copiers that you have to keep up to date and maintain, or the postage that you're paying to mail those statements and customer invoices to the customers on an almost daily basis. Think of all the recycling and disposing, even the storage costs. Also, when you're with Sage 100, it arguably has the best audit trails for reports, journals, registers. But because it has so many different reports and registers, that can add up to a lot of different paper, a lot of time that you're spending as well, filing that paperwork. So think of all of the ways that you may put it away, okay? So you may put it in notebooks, you may put it in a filing cabinet, or even just put it in a box and store it in a locked office. But that takes time. It takes expenses as well, and it also, pays the rent for that space that you're using for all that paper. Okay, so Paperless Office is designed to save you all of that. It saves you the time it takes to file them away and store that information, as well as the paper savings itself and the space it takes. So Paperless Office is a secure method for generating and archiving your documents, okay? It does that through what is called a PDF converter that's built into Sage 100. So you can create your documents automatically in the background without having to do anything else besides your regular process of printing your documents. It will save it to a PDF and will make it available to you in a PDF Paperless Office viewer. And I'm going to show you that in when we jump into the demo, okay? So ultimately, your Crystal forms and your documents, such as your invoice forms that are saved or printed as a Crystal form, the document can be saved to PDF as well, and then electronically delivered by email or fax, if you still have one of those, to your customer. And there's a security on it as well. So there's several layers built into Paperless Office, and this is to make sure that only those users that should be saving or accessing those reports or registers and documents can access those properly and are able to open those up. Okay, so there's a good security on that. Paperless Office allows you to email documents that I mentioned, but not just to your customers, but also to your vendors. So you can email your purchase orders, your return orders to your vendor when you need to. This is going to save you time when you're going to have to manually open up. So instead of manually open up that email application, such as Outlook, manually attaching a PDF or a Word document to your email. So with Paperless Office, it's built in with your email addresses that are stored in the master file. So within your vendor maintenance and within customer maintenance, and I'll show you that and how we can set that up. And it accesses those email addresses. And when you want to print those documents, you can add those email addresses on the fly as well. So during the time that you're emailing out things, you can just throw in an email address if you want. So if there's a salesperson or a warehouse person you want to copy on the email, you can add them to that particular order or vendor purchase order and so forth. So the same with job cost invoices if you have job costs and payroll direct deposit stubs. So this also helps with if you have payroll, you can send out direct deposit stubs. So Paperless Office, it reaches just about every module within Sage 100, and it makes it that much more useful. So everyone on this line, if you are not currently using it, Paperless Office, if you're not using Paperless Office, I would highly encourage you to start using it as soon as possible. Usually we set it up, consultants set it up when you do the implementation right off the bat, just because auditing purposes, when you start posting, and you can still print your journals and registers and stuff, but it's so much easier just to automatically, create the PDF and goes out and it just saves it onto your server so that, let's say you print this journal. Well, if you lose it or you spill coffee on it or wherever, we don't know where it is, when an audit comes around, you don't have to go shuffle through papers and then say, I have no idea where it is. But if it's in Paperless Office, it's easier to locate. It's built in, okay, and it's very easy to set up and to start using. This is something even anyone can do if you know where to go, and I'll show you where to go. They made it even easier in the current version, Paperless Office. It's available with public services such as Google Mail, Yahoo, Hotmail, and of course, Office 365, all that good stuff. There's just some settings that you have to do. Usually your IT can give you those settings. It's an SMTP settings that you need. So this means you no longer have to maintain your own email server, but you have other options. And then the communication between your client and the server can be encrypted, so it protects your sensitive company information. The Microsoft Faxing. So I don't really have any clients who do the faxing, but it is supported. So you don't have to go out and sign up for a faxing service. It uses the Microsoft Faxing engine that's built into Windows. So you can use the fax services driver that's built into the Microsoft Windows and utilize that for sending out to your customer invoices and so forth, your customer statements, etc. So there's no additional charge for the faxing functionality as well. Here's a little pretty diagram. Paperless Office always saves a document to PDF. So whether it's a journal and a register or whether it's a form you're printing out, you always will have a PDF that you can go back to. So if your customer calls you, calls up and says, can I get that email resent to me or that statement sent to me, okay? You can go into your customer maintenance and click a button and have it resend the email or the fax. You also have access within these PDF viewers to all the documents, whether they're internal documents such as your journal and registers that you posted. So think of all the pages and pages that's involved with a sales journal, printing that out, all that can be accessed in a PDF viewer so that different people in your office can see that information. And of course, we can put security on it. It can be financial reports as well. So any of the reports that we run out of Sage, we can save those to paperless. Period end reports, we can save those. So if you have a customized Crystal report even, or Crystal financial reports, you can make those available to your managers or executives in the offices. So you're not having to print it out and then distribute it manually to the different people in the office. It can all go into a viewer, or the ones you want to have access to through security, of course, and in role maintenance. The security all goes through role maintenance, and then they can see the documents and reports if they need to. So it makes it a lot easier as far as distributing to reading those reports and the different employees and people in your office, okay? And then external documents are sent out, and you can optionally print and email. So PDFing automatically happens through the PDF converter. So you have the option to have some customers set up so they have a paper invoice sent, and then other customers can have their invoice emailed to them. So this is all set up per customer, per vendor, okay? Not all, it's not all or one, all or nothing. So it works side by side. You can also have a mix. So some customers being electronic, having electronic delivery, and then other customers can have just a regular paper printed invoice, just depending on their setup. And we'll go through that as well. Then the journal and register viewer. So this is kind of what the journal and register viewer looks like. We'll go in and kind of poke around. But this is what makes all this available. So you can filter, you can sort by the company, you can sort by the module, you can sort by the individual document that you're looking for. So within Paperless Office module, you have this nice journal register or period end viewer. And if you have multiple companies, it makes it even easier when you need to pinpoint which journal or register or report you're looking at. So remember, all the reports, even if it's customized Crystal report, can be available within the viewer. And then there is built-in security through different layers. There is the standard Sage 100 task securities and role maintenance that you can set up so only certain users can view and access the reports. And then there is security events for deleting reports within the viewer. And then even documents that you send outside of Sage 100, for example, let's say you want to send your internal accounts receivable person a secure encrypted salesperson commission report, let's say. So I'll show you how that works. So you certainly don't want that commission report to be opened by anyone. So you can actually attach a password to the individual PDF document itself. So only with that password can the user open the report. So this is also useful for payroll documents such as the check register. So you can encrypt the Adobe document for opening and that type of thing. I mean, you can put the password pretty much on anything. You can also attach a document, which is pretty cool, as well to any journal and register, and view that in the Paperless Office viewer. So this is going to be very helpful for cutting down the amount of external documents that you receive. So most of you or all of you are going to be receiving in some way, usually through the mail, invoices from your vendors. Okay, so a lot of you are going to file those away in a filing cabinet with associated source documents. You can simply scan those invoices in and then simply attach it to an invoice register. So when you're entering in your invoices, you can print your invoice register and then attach the documents, and you can have, let's say, 100 vendor invoices all in one document scanned in. You can use Adobe PDF to combine all those invoices into one single document, and then you can attach that day's list of invoices to the invoice register. Okay, and I'll show you how we're going to attach that. So when you go back to look at the invoice register in the PDF viewer, you can see all of the invoices that were paid with that batch of invoices. So that can be accessed at any time within the journal and register viewer. And you can be prompted when you actually print the AP register for that PDF. So it will go out and attach it and grab it. And we have some customers that actually use high-speed scanners to scan that information in, because they do this on a regular basis. So it's like a copy machine. It will copy it, it will scan it, and combine it into a single PDF. And then you no longer have to file the paper invoices that you receive from your vendors. So that over time, you know, it could take, I mean, that could take up a ton of room in your filing cabinets. And now with this new feature, it's all about reducing paper, you know, not just the paper that Sage 100 generates, but it's also about the paper that you're receiving from your vendors as well. So all those AP invoices take up room in notebooks and filing cabinets and boxes. So we want to give you a way or an option to reduce all that clutter and simply streamline everything in electronic format, and then give you easy access at your fingertips to that information, you know, anytime that you need it. So it's attached now to this register. So pretty much you can, so pretty much now we're going to go in, we're going to take a look at the demonstration. We'll go through questions. If you guys have questions, just jump in. There is a question box over here on the side. And then here's my contact information if you want to ask me questions or email me at any point. Okay, let's exit out of this. Okay, so here is Sage, and some of you might not have seen this, but this is the new version, and this is a new interface that they have. If you're on an older version, the new 100C 2018, 2017 has a new interface. It's just a more modernized look. If you know, I would talk to your account manager maybe and have a demo, take a look at some of the cool new features. But okay, so let's start with kind of setting up Paperless Office from the beginning and kind of what needs to happen. Okay, so first what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into Library Master, and we're going to want to go into Company Maintenance. The first thing you have to do is you have to set up the SMTP settings. So you go to Email, and you're going to have to set up your SMTP. So a lot of people nowadays have Office 365. Most people have to get this information from their IT, okay? And it's pretty much, it's pretty standard, but I would get this information from your IT. The user ID can be a general email address. This is not going to be what the emails are coming out of. We'll set that up later. And then I would do a test email, okay, to make sure that your email account is working so that when your emails go out, they are going out correctly and we're not getting any errors. So that's the first step, okay? Then we're going to want to go into Paperless Office, and we have a few things. We have main, utilities, and setup. So we're going to want to start with our setup options, and I usually just go through and check all the boxes. This is saying, do you want to enable electronic delivery and PDF for each and every single one of these? I usually just check them all off. Do you want to keep the last copy? You can check these off, or you don't have to, okay? So that's the first step. I just kind of go through down the list. So next, we're going to do journal and register. Journal and register is when you post something, when you post, you know, in AP, when you post the invoice, it's going to ask you, do you want to post to the AP module, the subledger? You say yes, it's going to save that PDF. When you post to the GL, it's going to save that PDF, okay? So all those postings are going to go in here. So right off the bat, you can pick what company code, then you can pick the module, you can pick, etc. Really, I always just say all companies, all modules, all documents. The reason I do that is because it's going to be in one location on the server. It doesn't matter where it's going, because you are not going to actually have to go out into the server. Where is my, you are not going to have to go out into the server, because you have a Paperless Office viewer that you're going to look up your information. So here is all of my postings right here, Paperless Office, okay? So I use the exact same location every single time. We can do an auto create. You can say prompt, yes, no. I usually just say yes. The way that you automatically create a PDF, when you have the prompt that says, do you want to post, or do you want to print, preview, or do nothing? Sometimes people say preview because they want to look at it. You physically have to click on the word print. So when you click on the word print, it is going to populate a PDF document on your screen. The process of creating the PDF document on your screen, that process is now going out and saving the document to the PDF in your Paperless Office files. If you want to physically print that PDF, you can click the printer icon on the PDF, but you have to click the print button, okay? If you click the preview button, it is not going to save the document to the PDF viewer, okay? So that's the one big thing that a lot of people miss, is you have to click the print icon. It will populate the PDF on your screen, then you know that it went to the Paperless Office. So I usually just say auto create, because it will automatically create that PDF for you. This is where you can say, do you want to password protect it? If you really want to password protect, for journals and registers, you don't really need to, but it gives you the options here. Here's where you can say prompt for an associated PDF. So for journals and registers, you could say that you would want to potentially. We'll give you an example in a little bit, but for journals and registers, we might not need to do that. So I'm just going to say accept here. Okay, so I just have one. We could break it out and do a bunch of, you know, other ones for different modules and so forth. Okay, so journals, registers. Next, I'm going to do period end reports. So when you're doing period end, this would be when you're closing the period, when you're doing period end processing. You can set this up as well, okay? Again, I'm using the same exact PDF directory, because we can filter and we can find when we go to the PDF viewer, okay? We can break it out. If we want to do a password protect, we can password protect it here. Close out that. Next, we have our reports. So reports, I have two reports here. The first one I have, well, the second one I have is all. I did all companies, okay, all modules, same location, password protect. I did prompt. If I wanted to do it when I was running the report, okay, I can do prompt. Now, the second one was what we kind of talked about, which was the salesperson commission report. Did that go away? There we go. So I broke it out. I chose specifically all companies, but I chose module code, AR, document, salesperson, commission report. Now, I put it in the same location, which is fine, but now I said password protect. So anytime I save this report, I now want to password protect it so that people cannot go into this report or view this report unless they know the password. So I'm going to change it because I don't know what it was the last time I created it. I'm going to say save. And so we can go into it later. I'll show you what it looks like. So I only put 2 reports in there. Next one, form. This is the one where electronic delivery comes into play. This is with form maintenance. So it's going to give us a few different defaults. So we can break it out by company code. We can say company ABC. We can say company XYZ. I don't remember what they are, but we can set these up for each and every different company. So I have check, I have AR statements, I have a PO order form, SO invoice, and SO order, so sales order. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so checks. So I said all companies, we have an AP check, and we're going to say, oops, enable electronic delivery. This is where we tell it what the from email address is. So you could say that it's coming specifically from your accounts payable person, okay? Or you can make it a general email address so that maybe they email back to your accounts payable person specifically. PDF storage, this is going to be, again, the same location. You could have a separate folder if you want to, okay? And override password, it does require you to have a password in here just in case. And then you can also go to the additional tab, accounts payable, checks, and electronic payment remittance. There's additional information here if you want to do watermark, or if you want to have additional information just for checks. Okay, next one. So I don't think we have anything for statements. Let's look at PO orders. So here's my PO order, same thing. I set it up for electronic payments. I'm going to do a test, and we're going to do it for, I believe, a sales order. So here I set it up for a sales order, electronic delivery, and here's my email address. It's going to come from me, and we'll see how that runs, okay? And then the last part, so that's pretty easy, right? We can set it up for each company code. We can set it up for who each of the email addresses it comes from, etc. The last one's pretty cool. This is where you can get creative. This is where you tell what the email is going to say when you send it out. Unfortunately, you cannot use HTML. So you can't use anything like a signature on it or anything. It's pretty standard. It's pretty basic. The one that we have created. So it starts with this. This is what they all look like. This is just by default. But I did create one to give us an example. Okay. So we have the ability to use a merge field, and they give you a few merge fields over here. Okay. For example. I created one for PO, and what we did here is we said, okay, purchase order and then the document number. So purchase order 56789. This is what my email is going to look like when it goes out to the vendor. Okay, so then I say vendor name. So whatever the vendor name is, attached, please find order 56789 that was placed on 3/14/2019, questions regarding this order, please call my purchasing department. Here's our number or email, and then you can use your email address. Thank you, purchasing department, or whatever information you want to put in here. But yes, you cannot put any other type of information that you want here. One of the new features that's coming out in 2019, which is really cool, and 2019 is coming out in the next 2 months, next month, is that you're going to be able to add additional documents to your Paperless Office emails that go out. So right now, your Paperless Office emails only attach one file. Like this email that goes out will only attach the purchase order, okay? The purchase order that you're sending out will only attach the purchase order. Well, with 2019, one of the new versions or one of the new features that's coming out is that you're going to have the ability to attach additional documents. I don't know how yet, like I don't know the actual physical process, where it comes from, what you do with it yet. I haven't seen that or learned that much about it yet. I just know that a lot of clients have asked that, like, I want to know, like, can I add this, this, and this? And before that was, no, you cannot do that. But finally, we are able to do that, which is kind of a new cool feature. So just keep that in mind. So we can do that for every single different form. You can have your own message, your own custom message for each of those different emails, okay? And that's under electronic delivery. Okay, so that's kind of the first setup, okay, for Paperless Office side of things. Well, now we need to go in and we need to tell the system who is getting emails or what their email addresses are, right? Okay, let's go to accounts payable. Let's go to accounts receivable first. We'll go to customer maintenance. So this part of the process is going to look time consuming. But I'll show you first before I tell you the but. Okay, so customer number, down here at the bottom, you have an area where it says email addresses. Well, you can put email addresses here. You can use as many email addresses as you want by adding, you know, the semicolon. You can put, you know, however many you want here. You also have an area where you have contacts, okay? And you can have, that doesn't mean anything. So you can have separate contacts, customer contact maintenance, and it has email addresses for different contacts. I don't know if you guys use this. Some people don't actually use that feature, but you do have the ability to have multiple contacts here, okay? Then you now have a button here called Paperless. So I'm going to click on Paperless. Now, we're in AR customer maintenance, okay? And we're under customer number. So Paperless, we can now define. So the two areas we can do Paperless Office is SO invoice and SO order, sales order. And I've already kind of set this up, but here's where you would say it automatically populates to print. So PDF delivery options, it always defaults to print. Now I have the ability to mark off or unmark off other areas. So we can say, I do not want to print any invoices or sales orders for this client anymore. They don't want me to print, and they don't want me to print them. They don't want them in the mail. They don't want it. They only want to have it emailed to them now, okay? So we'll uncheck print and we'll only check email. If we want, we can say, okay, well, they want a password, okay? So if we email it to them, we can assign a password so that when they get the email, we're going to say, oh, we want to email it to them. The next part of it is the email addresses. Well, what email addresses are we going to use? Whose email addresses are we going to use? We can say use email address in the data entry screen. So this is on the fly, okay? We can say that one. So like, just like I said, if we want to use it on the fly, like a salesperson on the fly during that specific order, we can say that one. We can say use the customer email address, which is this email address here, that Aaron Oldaker, that would be me, okay? We can say contact codes. So the contact codes that I was just showing you, those contact codes, We don't have to use those contact codes. I can delete that. This guy. And then additional email addresses. So the reason why you would use this, so real quick, when you use Paperless Office, it does not show up in anyone's outbox. So even if you say that it's coming from, you know, accounts payable at abfamericanbusiness.com, it's not going to show up in your outbox. So some people like to put like a additional email address, like a CC email address, so that they know that the email went out, or so that they have a CC, or that they have a copy, a carbon copy that the email went out. Okay, so some people do it that way. You do have the email. You do have access to that email. If we wanted to go in later, we can go into this customer number and find the email, invoice, or sales order that went out. We can do that, but some people like to see every single email that went out and proof that it went out, okay? So that's an idea that some people like to utilize as well. So right now, it's just we're sending it to this one user. Fax is not highlighted because it's not highlighted here, but if we wanted to do anything with fax, we can go into the fax screen and unhighlight that. Okay, so that was just for sales order. So we can also set the same thing up for invoice, but for right now, I am not doing invoice, and we'll accept that. Okay. So sales order. So I wanted to go into give me one second. I wanted to show you how we can attach something. Give me one second. There we go. Paperless Office. Journal register. Okay. So we're going to go back in here real quick. And I am going to say prompt for associated PDF during journal register printing. And I want to prompt. And did I close everything out? I did. Well, it doesn't really matter what I'm going to attach. So this is just as an example. So associated PDF directory, it's just going to default to that. We can change this later. Okay, so I'm just going to show you as an example for that guy because it's going to prompt us. Okay, so we're going to do an example. So sales order. We set up the sales order. We set up that specific customer, the first customer, American Business. They're way over the credit limit. And let's order an item if we're allowed to. Okay, so now that we have turned on Paperless Office, we have this area here. Before, we didn't see anything about Paperless Office output. Now we have some options, okay? So we can do this as a single, or you can do this as a batch. If you have batch processing turned on, you can do this as a batch, okay? So with batch processing, what it's going to do, you're going to choose one of these options, and it's going to look at each of the customers. If the customer says, I want to print and electronic deliver, it's going to do both. If the customer says, I only want to print, it's going to print. If the customer says, I only want electronic delivery, it's going to only electronic delivery. So this is where you pick and choose. for this, we're only going to do one customer, okay? So we can pick and choose what we want to do here. Okay, so we can say print all. Since this customer is not set up for printing, it's going to do nothing for this customer. Electronic delivery only, this customer is set up for electronic delivery, so we'll do that one. But there's going to be these other options, okay? PDF all. So PDF is where it's going to go out and it's going to save it to our PDF as well. So we actually want to do electronic delivery. That's going to email it, but we also want to save it, not or, PDF and electronic delivery. So PDF and electronic delivery. So, and see how, since we're electronic delivery, see how the preview button is grayed out? Because you have to click on the print icon for it to PDF. Does that make sense? Remember before I said, if you click print, if you click preview, it doesn't do anything with the PDF converter, or it doesn't do anything with saving out to Paperless Office. So it's not allowing us to do preview. So I'm going to print, and just so you know, it's not going to work because my email address, we just switched over to like some Office 365 two authentication, weird, two-layer authentication. Let me close that out. And I asked my IT people, how do I set it up to get that to work, and they have not responded. So, but what I want to show you is, close out of that. So what it does is it sends out the email. It sends it out with an attachment, okay? It sends out that sales order as an attachment with that email that we had set up, okay? And then it will tell us a little message. There'll be a message that says, you know, how many emails went out specifically. And then it will tell us how many were successful if there was a group of them. And then it will tell you how many, if any, failed, and so forth. So let's go into, I would like to do a AP invoice. Let's just do a quick invoice. And I'll run a commission report for you too. Are we running out of time? No. Oh. Okay, so I don't want to press preview. I want to click print. Okay, so remember how I said that button about how it said prompt if I want to? So I know that this can get annoying. You would want to set this up only on certain areas that you would actually utilize this, certain modules that you would actually utilize this. But I did turn it on for prompting, where it says prompt for associated PDF. Okay, so associated PDF directory, it's asking me what's the directory, and I turned it here. I can choose what the directory is, but now it's asking me the file name. Okay, so now I can go out and say, well, my file name is this. I'm just going to pick, that's the file name. Okay, I'm going to say okay. So now it's chosen the file name and it's associating that file name with this specific register. Okay, so here we just posted, or we're posting the register. It popped up, right? This means that it just saved it out. I'm going to write this down so I can go find it. This is a APO 35, and it's on 531.20. Okay, so this means it created the PDF out there. Do you want to update? Yes, I do. Do you want to print the daily transaction register? Yes, I do. It's going to pop up. It's going to ask me again, do you want to print a preview? I want to print. And here it's going to ask me, do you want to associate another one? I'm going to say cancel, which means no, I do not. So it can be helpful, that like associated PDF, or it can be kind of cumbersome, but we can definitely work on that and set it up so that it isn't. Oh, did it not print when I click cancel? Give me a second. I think I have to click yes. Let's go back to that guy. Print. Okay. Ah, there we go. There's a bunch of stuff that we have not posted. Post it all. Okay. So let's go and do the sales order. Am I losing it? Oh, okay. 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 Oops, that's not what I want to do. Okay, for report. Let's try that guy again. So reports, it's a little bit different. The place that you find to save as PDF, okay, so you click on the printer area, and now you're going to scroll down to the bottom, and you're going to say Paperless Office. Okay, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to say print, and now we get some options here. So store PDF, email options. If I want to email it out, let's say if I want to email it out to one of my sales staff, okay, we can do that. Fax as well, I can do that. Pretty much, I just want to store it as it is. And see, like I could have said, okay, send this salesperson it and then email it. Send this salesperson, email it. Remember, we put a password on it, okay? So let's see, those are the two things that we went over. Now, let's go find all this stuff, okay? How do we go and find all of these Paperless Office and PDF things that we've been saving and that we've been printing and that we've been posting? Okay, so Paperless Office, we're going to go to main. Now, we have multiple areas to choose from. Journal and register viewer, okay? These are the areas that are the postings. So the postings that, for instance, we did. Now, we can choose by company code, okay? This is where we can really drill down if you have multiple company codes. We can choose by module code. So we posted that AP document. We can filter it down by further, okay? We can filter it further. We can choose the accounting date, and my accounting date was like, what's today? 3/14. Whoops, 3/14. But I know it was AP 35. JP35. Okay, since we didn't have too much going on. But we could, if we have thousands and thousands of records, we can filter it down by the exact transaction date. We could filter it down by accounting date, okay? We can click refresh to minimize it and so forth. Okay, so we know that this is what it is. It tells you the batch, tells you the company code. You can go up and down, right? Just like you would be able to in Excel. You can look at the journal. You can see when the journal was created, which is nice. The accounting date. So my accounting date was today. It tells you if it was updated, yes or no, okay? It tells you the location. So, I mean, usually for me personally, my locations are always the same. Some people do it differently. PDF exists. Was there a password? Now look at that. We have an associated PDF. And where is the location, right? Okay, so we also have some icons over here on the side. So we can check them out. Associated PDFs, we can open those, we can move them, we can delete them. And these are specific to security as well. So we can open PDF. This is the original batch or the original register that we created. We can email it originally, or now we want to email it. We can PDF originally. This associated PDF that I randomly picked, okay? But now I can open it. So like, let's say we attached, you know, the invoices or something that went along with that. We can, the 30-page document or something that I was telling you about earlier. But so there's your associated PDF, right, that's attached to it. We can open that. We can move it, okay? It tells you the user login, which is nice. So you can see who actually did it, okay? So these are nice. Okay, so let's see what else. We did the commissions report. That was under AR. And we saw, not the commission. Oh, that is actually under different. Okay, so those were journal and registers. That's when you do your postings. So your journal, register, postings, etc. Period end viewers. I don't think we have any in here because period end viewer is when you actually do period end processing. You switch from January to February, you do year end processing, etc. Report viewer. Report viewer is going to be right there. There's our sales commission report that we created, okay? So here, PDF exists, password. There's a password on it. So let's double click on it. Now, it wants to open, and it's asking me, what's the password? It's not letting me open it without that password. So I know the password, so now I'm able to open it and look at it. And if we wanted to, we could email it. Okay, we can email it if we wanted to. So those are reports. So anytime you create a report or run a report in the system, you have the ability to just click on that bottom left-hand corner. Instead of choosing a report, instead of choosing a printer, you can choose the Paperless Office as the printer, okay? And you then have the ability to email. So let's say your boss asks you, I need blah, blah, blah report sent to me. You set up all the filters, you set up whatever you need, you set up the date range, and this can be even any crystal report that's custom made for you, okay? You set up all that stuff, then all you have to do is click the Paperless Office printer at the bottom hand corner. You say Paperless Office. It saves it as a Paperless Office, but you can also email it. So you still have a copy of it in this nice, handy little module. So a lot of people don't realize the power of it. They're just like, oh, it's just that extra module. Okay, customer viewer. This is where you're going to find your invoices, your statements, your orders. My order didn't show up, did it? Because it didn't fully work. Gosh. vendor viewer. So did any come through? Invoices, statements. I know I've done these before. Let's see. Ah, something in here. The sales order. I mean, this is just one of the sales orders, just basic form. But now what I can do is I can go back and select all, and if I wanted to, I can go ahead and re-email it, electronic delivery, from this screen. But for instance, let me write this down. This is ABF, this is order, because we can go directly from the customer and I can re-email it from the customer to, if they call, 382018 from the customer. I can do it from here or from the customer. Employee self-serve. If I do not have payroll set up, if you have payroll, you can go into, employees can come in here and they can find their direct deposit stubs as well. So let's go into accounts receivable real quick, and let's go find this specific order number. So what I wanted to tell you is, it seems like that's a lot of work, going into every single customer, right? Going in and adding this information, going in here and checking this box, right? Choosing this, checking this box, filling this out, right? Seems like it's a lot of cumbersome work. Well, we can import that. If you have the VI module, Visual Integrator module, we can import it. I can give you a template for it, and it saves so much time. I've done this with many, many, many clients. You don't have the Visual Integrator module. It's a very useful module. I don't think it costs that much money, and it comes with the new 100C. You can talk with your account manager about it. That's this Visual Integrator module. And pretty much the Visual Integrator module imports anything. You can import journal entries, you can import invoices, you can import tons of stuff. But I find it really useful for initially setting up this paperless office and getting all of your customers set up so that you can start using this as soon as possible. Okay, what was my number? ABF? I got 4 minutes, and then you guys can ask questions. Give me 1 second. Sales orders 236. 236. No, I want to delete. Paperless viewer. Order. Okay. I didn't really plan for this guy, but you do have the ability to, if there is an SO or an invoice, or it could have been an invoice that you have, if you're in the customer maintenance screen and there's a paperless office sales order or something assigned to it, you can click on the order. If there's a paperless, you can directly from this view re-email it out to the customer from this view if they need it sent out to them. Okay, so that's kind of an overview. I think hopefully I covered most of what I went over and what I could, how to set it up and all that good stuff. I don't know if we take them off hold, or if you want to answer questions on the bottom. You can always email me questions too. Okay. Well, it looks like we're good then. So I guess just email us and let us know if anything else comes up, and we should be good. So hopefully everyone has a good rest of their week.